The better you feel, the more you relax. How about a double?
Hypnosis for change. I guess we're
Yeah.
live.
All right. Oh my gosh, hypnosis is such a great tool. You, when
I guess we can do purple for the hypnotic color. Is that purple? No.
purple, yeah.
Yeah, get hypnosis for change. I guess we're live.
Actually,
There we go.
that is I have found that purple is a hypnotic color. Uh, when I was mindscaping, we won't get. I need to not just bring up everything we do because then you got to tell what mindscaping is. Mike, maybe
Yeah, hypnosis for change. I guess mindscaping. I guess you.
yeah,
Well,
that's one
I mean,
thing.
you could get change out of. Well, okay, so hypnosis, right? Focus attention. So what are you paying attention to? And remember, if you're paying attention to something you don't like, then you're gonna have more of that. So why don't you focus on more of what the good stuff is? Something like that, right? What do
So
you got?
with
How would
hypnosis,
you make change work? Change work for hypnosis. Yeah, there we go.
it changes. Well, let's go to the basics really before we go into hypnosis. Basically, most people, if we're going to help them, they got to be at threshold. Threshold is something has to change. It has to be you, and it has to be now. We ask SUDS level too. On the scale of 0 to 10, what's your stress level on it? It would when you come in, whatever you want to change, how much are you willing to work on it? Is a 4, 5, 10, 7? Where are you at? And if you're not,
So studs, in case you guys don't know, I had to Google it because I forgot.
subjective unit of distress.
There you go. Boom.
Okay, so
Great.
basically, how
I had
much?
to Google it.
Okay, distress. How much do you want? What you're coming to us for? Okay, um, to help you. So the more reasons you have to change, it'll be easier to change. And remember the well-formed outcome. Go back. We've talked about that 10 or 20 times, I'm sure, in the last years. So, what we do as our hypnosis can help you with is bypassing that critical factor that you say no, 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 no. We open up so you're more suggestive to what you want to do because your unconscious really wants to do what you want it to do. It just doesn't believe you sometimes because the actions you are doing are not the actions that it takes to get what you want. So when we open up and we can do, there's a direct suggestion we can give you direct. From now on, you'll find it harder and harder. Every time you look at food, you'll think about it twice before you decide to eat it. Is it good for you or is it not good for you? From now on, you'll be able to make that choice even easier than it is now. What will this do for you? How many pounds would you like to let go of? What is your goal? And then every time you go to the refrigerator, you'll say to yourself, am I hungry or am I thirsty? Or am I really just, why am I eating at this time? You know, question is it emotional? Is it the reasons why we're eating? And sometimes we have to go and find out what the emotion is driving our habit, whatever it is. It could be smoking, it could be eating, it could be any bad habit that we do excessively. So anything that's taking away goodness from your life, that's where hypnosis can come and give you a different thing. Move away from what you don't want towards the things you do want. And then when we go in with hypnosis, we can do even direct suggestion. From now on, this will happen. And as you do it, you'll even feel better. And even when you're dreaming at night, it will sort out the things that you want to get done. As you sit here and relax and let go of the things that's not serving you anymore, let go of the things and find those things that will serve you. So look inside right now and take a breath and then understand what is it what you really want? What is it what you need? And what do you want to let go of? Letting go of all the things that don't serve you anymore, but always keeping the lessons that it came with, knowing that you have the right to be as happy just as anyone else does too. So, what are we going to do? From now on, I want you to say, I can do this. Take away that can't. Because when you put that can't in there, I can't do this, I can't do that. When you put that in there, you're knocking away the ability. Your unconscious doesn't think you want to do it. So instead of saying, I can't, let's move that word into I'm working on. So I am working on letting go of this, whatever it is, and moving towards. So what we want to do is open up your mind for suggestion of a better way, whatever that is. Take away the blocks that's keeping you from there and bringing in, the things that work for you, you know. So, what do you think of that, Scott?
Oh, I was just writing out around a few notes, right? Again, when you want to use hypnosis, you could use self hypnosis, and maybe you could find like something on Spotify or maybe on YouTube. Just a lot of different, you know, tracks you can listen to. Well, basically, what is hypnosis, right? You're just kind of closing your eyes and shutting out the outside world or whatever could be bothering your conscious mind, and then finding new tools or new ways to deal with things that could be bothering you. And it's about finding new tools, about new ways of looking at whatever's in front of you. And I guess the main thing to think about would be limiting beliefs or negative thoughts, right? Or are they really negative thoughts, right? A lot of people, well, when it comes to negative thoughts, like a lot of people, when you talk to them, want to kick them out, right? So I say bring them in. They're trying to tell you something. I was watching something on Facebook yesterday where the guy was trying to explain the abundance mindset or what is it, the secret or something like that. And he was explaining that, oh, if you have a bunch of weeds in your farm or your garden, you won't be able to plant seed or plant flowers. Like you can put flowers there all day long, but if you have weeds there, then you won't be able to grow anything. So it's not so much about trying to dig up the weeds, right? It's more like finding out why they're there and then how to repurpose them. Like it's trying to tell you something, right? Like whatever your thoughts are, it's not people. And if you're shutting it out, then that's just going to make it angry, and then it's going to keep eating at you. So find out what it's saying, and then agree to disagree. Maybe sometimes it's also part of parts negotiation. Parts negotiation is your different ego states. Like if you're a different person when you go to work versus when you're at home or versus when you're on a sales call. Like these are different ego states. So one ego state could be not being heard or trying to say, look out over here. And then some people may consider that a negative thought. Well, it doesn't have to be a negative thought. It could just be something warning you of something. And then if you're shutting it out, it's just only going to slow you down. So bring it in, listen to what it's got to say, and then it's not like you're going to change everything overnight. It's more like you're stepping in a new direction, and then understanding the next time you're faced with a certain situation that you behave differently to get different results, and just coming to terms with whatever that is. So again, limiting beliefs, like maybe you have a really huge goal that you're working on, and yet you haven't worked towards that goal because you don't think you'll be able to achieve this huge goal, or understanding that maybe you are stepping towards that goal and not um, recognizing your little successes on the way to that big goal. So how does hypnosis help with that? Hypnosis, right? Like shutting out, well, turning down or giving the conscious mind a break, we'll say, to talk to your subconscious mind so that you can reflect on where you're at. And as long as you're writing out where you want to go, then you'll be able to gauge where you want to be. And then how does hypnosis help with that? Well, it's basically focused attention. Being able to switch out whatever tools you're using with your conscious mind and changing them out for new tools. And when you change them out for new tools, you then become like a different person using different resources that you have in order to get to wherever it is that you're going. And if you're not focused on writing down what your goal is, then you'll just never be able to get there, because it's kind of like, aiming at a target. And if you miss the target, which is fine, at least you know where the target is, versus like a boat just kind of does one of these things while you're moving, or a hamster, right? You're moving, but you're are you getting to where you want to be? And again, we always want to encourage moving or movement, because if you're not moving, it's better to be moving than to be stuck. So again, hypnosis. It's you talking to yourself, your subconscious mind. I bet your subconscious mind has great ways for you to move towards where you want to be if you would just take the time to listen to it, right? Like sometimes, like you could be in a hypnotic state of eating junk food and then getting sick later because you didn't we'll say hypnosis as a tool to be like, oh yeah, your body's trying to tell you to eat better, and this is why you're getting sick after eating this food when you could eat something better. And then whether or not you want to recognize that's something you want to change to better yourself. So hypnosis is all these different things that you can do with it, just depending on how you want to, clean the lens or what you want to focus on.
Let's go free will
That
before.
was that hypnotic language? Did you just
I was just going into trance listening to you.
yeah.
The six things I wanted to say now they're all gone. Now, free will, see, our conscious or unconscious wants to do what we want it to do. Also, it's there to protect us, to keep us alive. It doesn't really care so much as that we're happy, but to protect us. So, what we want to do is we want to open up our unconscious mind and say, hey, this is what we want. Now, it goes both ways too, because when somebody starts smoking, it tells you, your unconscious tells you you don't want this. By when somebody starts smoking, they'll take a puff and and they'll take it up. But after a while, if you smoke enough, then you're going to stop coughing until maybe later on when you get cancer and then you can't stop. but but till then, it basically says, okay, you have the free will to overpower it. It's the same way with, let's just say you went out and got drunk one night and it got so sick you puked and puked and puked and puked. But if you consistently do it and you overcome that, it gives it a habit. Now, but you can go back in and say, I don't want to do this and work on it that way too. So, what we're telling ourselves when we go in to the unconscious is what we really want to do. That's why a hypnotist has that direct suggestion that really works real good. Also, you can ask your unconscious mind because it's got a record of everything you've ever done inside, and that's where it's taking its knowledge, so it knows more about you than you know about yourself, because your conscious mind doesn't know everything that ever occurred, but your unconscious mind knows that everything it's seen and heard and took in. So you want to get both your conscious and unconscious in alignment. That's what we're doing as a helper people, and hypnotist helps to get the conscious and the unconscious where it's not fighting itself. And when you're in a line, you can, if you want to lose weight, or if you want to quit smoking, or if you want a better habit or something, when you get your conscious and unconscious together on the same project, it's going to be so much easier, because a lot of times we fight ourselves. And what you were saying earlier, and I was too, is when you bring in that negative self-talk, basically, and saying can't, and saying I limiting beliefs that you're not good enough. So when we can overcome those, we can change our lives, change the way you look at the things you're looking at, and the things you look at change. So we're working with hypnosis to help people change to the better of what they want in life. So, and direct suggestion, there's also storytelling, there's uh, uh, metaphors, all these things that can help you help someone else. So there's all kinds of tools out there. Regression, we can regress back to cause and say what really occurred at that time. And what was there any erroneous beliefs? What does your unconscious mind really, that's where a phobia comes up. Back something happened at the same time as something else, and the unconscious recorded it uh, differently than what it really was. Uh, Example would be like a little girl screaming when she's 3 because there's a spider in the other room, and her mother has just yelled, "Ah, there's a spider!" And father comes in and they kill the spider, but they or take the spider outside, either way. But the little girl thinks anytime she hears a spider that it's death, and till she goes back and figures out, no, it was really not a big deal. It was just that her mother was afraid of the spider, but her mother was no endangerment of death. So we go back, regress all the way back to cause, and we come back with all those other incidents, and then that usually goes away. Phobias are pretty simple that way a lot of times. And when we don't want to get rid of all phobias to the extent of just getting rid of it. Like if you're afraid of a dog, but you hear a dog like, you know, about a mile away, but it's barking and you freeze, that's not the response we really want for people. We want if the dog's in front of you barking right there to be aware of it and to understand that there could be danger there. But when it's a mile away, uh, I helped somebody with the fear of ducks. So they couldn't go to the park because they were afraid of ducks. But we found out, it was when she was like 3 or 4, the ducks came towards her and she thought they were going to get her. But now she can go to the park and ducks don't affect her. So there's a lot of great things that hypnosis can do and regression and all the tools we have with that. I'm probably just going off
Uh,
of the thing where I always go, right? Because ADHD, it's like,
are you ducking?
I'm ducking, woo, woo, going this way and that. Uh, so, uh, also, what's in the sessions I've done in the past, I would notice the person in front of me would be like this, and this is, they would like this when they come in, really intense. Their face would look just like 10 years older. But at the end of the session, they would be like they just got a facelift. And it took me a while to understand what that was because hypnosis actually reduces the stress in your body and it relaxes your muscles in your face and you take a lot of stress out. I was actually working on one client when she started going, "Oh my God." And I'm going, well, what's wrong? I was thinking, what did I do? She says, my lazy eye. I said, what do you mean? My lazy eye. And I don't see no lazy eye. She says it's gone. So she
Yeah,
relaxed
it's
so
funny,
much.
right? Like you fix
Yeah,
one thing and then all this other stuff starts changing because you didn't realize it was connected to that.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think a lot of people's problem in the world really is stress. They're stressing themselves out, and you can use hypnosis for relaxation too. You can. There's the self hypnosis. You can relax your whole entire body up and then just, you know, go into self hypnosis. There's so many, yeah, I would say, like you said, there's so many ways to learn self hypnosis. You can go to the internet these days, and it's a real good tool to use, you know. And then a lot of times we can throw in some NLP in there to help you get there even faster. Break it down what you really want. A lot of people don't know what they want.
Yeah. For people that don't understand, NLP is more like a conscious language patterns and thought process, and then hypnosis is like um a hypersensitive focus, and the NLP language patterns and well hypnosis from a hypnotist, they work well hand in hand, and basically the language is there to help clean up your thought process, or maybe get rid of some stuff that could be holding you back. And then like you probably have, well, we're all in a loop, right? So you have probably have some limiting beliefs that are keeping you in that loop, and without new ways to look at things or use these language patterns to help unwind yourself, or how or you use a metaphor, as a DJ you got this box and it's full of all these chords because the guy I hired didn't wrap them up right, so it's like taking all the chords out and rewrapping them and putting them away organized. Then you could, and then the coolest thing is, right, like you could go through all the different memories that you have of whatever could be bothering you or whatever success that you've had, and then you can recategorize those memories and look at those memories at a different perspective, and maybe whatever could be holding you back could be empowering you then the next, in a moment, right? Oh, I don't do X, Y, and Z because of X, Y, and Z. Well, what if you're only here because of those things that those things that got you here? Oh yeah. And then people, what I find, or a line that I use, maybe cliche at the time, whatever could be holding you back, you could use that as, well, nobody can understand what you've walked through, so you can walk around proud. Those bad things that happen, well, just be grateful that those things happened to you, because now, you've been through that. What else could there be? right? Like you've already been through the worst, like, and then you can help other people get over those things as well. I mean, with hypnosis, well, hypnosis for change, right? We're all trying to be, or are we all, or is your goal to do something different? Well, you're gonna have to become something different to get to different places. And
and
how
to
do you do that?
and to realize no matter where you're at, that's where you're at. And it's because of all the decisions you ever made till this point. Now, all those decisions weren't mistakes. They were learning experience, learning to be who you are and who you are now. Yet, if you want a different way, you can open up to new suggestions and new learnings to change the things you don't want to the things you do, and also reframing them to looking at the past and reframe it to what did you learn from the past so you can go to the future in a better way. Just there's just so much with helping people, not only with the way they think with hypnosis and also the way they frame their life, how they look at their life and what are they, again, when you come to a hypnotist, are you ready? What I mean, are you at threshold? I really think threshold really does matter because the only thing okay, so we can't change anyone. The only way you can change somebody in life is if you have some kind of leverage over them. But usually, if you do have leverage over them, as soon as they change and you don't have that leverage, they're going to do whatever they did before. So, what we want when people come and or you're for yourself is you want to do it, because when you say you have to, you have no choice. So when you come to a hypnotist, hopefully they're not telling you what you should, ought to, or must do. Should, ought to, or must do, except when you want to do direct suggestion and you gave them what you want and they're giving you that direct suggestion. We want you to do what's right for you because we don't always know. Just to understand that if you ever tell anyone what they should do, must do, or ought to, you take the responsibility off that person in front of you and put it on yourself because they're going to come, not necessarily, but they do. People come back and say, it's your fault. You told me to do that. You said this was going to work out for me. So, as a helper of people, we don't take that responsibility because really, we don't really have the right answer for you. You have it within yourself. So, and so you go inside and find that answer, and we help you bring it out. And it does wonders when you get your unconscious aligned with your conscious, and then things happen like amazingly. It's just so cool. I just love that.
All right. Well, there you have it. We'll catch you next week. Drop a line. Oh, I know there's two people watching. Just go ahead and put like a line. This is